Hello, everyone. It's me, Monica P. Hall, aka Conduit of Healing, psychic medium, Reiki Master Teacher, and it is time for our weekly messages for the collective. I'm really excited about this one because it's a little bit of a truth bomb. I want to call it a truth bomb because once we talk about it, you're gonna be like, oh God, this is a little, uncomfortable. But it is a necessary conversation that one must have with themselves. And so the crew asked me to bring this to your attention. But before we get into this week's message, if you are enjoying the messages that you've been seeing in these videos, if you enjoy my delivery, if you enjoy please make sure you're hitting the like button and you're subscribing to these channels so you can get these messages every single week. Not to mention get access to all past messages. Notifications are really important, right? Because I feel like we're just so busy in our lives, we miss a lot of things that we actually want to know about. So yes, make sure you're hitting the like button and you're subscribing to the channel. All right, so onto the message. This message is about seasonal cleaning. Now, here we are, we're very close to the summer solstice, not to mention almost halfway through the year. And a lot of people have been pruning their gardens, right? They've been switching out, winter clothes for summer clothes. They've been getting rid of things, maybe like purging. And so the crew wanted to bring it to everyone's attention that, I'm going to read it. Seasonal cleaning. Don't be afraid to scrub your life. Often, we keep ourselves in situations and relationships based on how they began as opposed to how they are now. I told you it was going to be a doozy. So, when we say relationships, what are we talking about? Everything. We are talking about our jobs. We are talking about our friends. We are talking about our family. We are talking about our romantic partners. We're even talking about relationships with ourselves. They require that we spend time, when it seems appropriate, reevaluating these relationships, reevaluating the people in our lives, and making sure that we are surrounding ourselves with people who are, there for our best and highest good, people that are actually making us better people. One of the things I've noticed over the years is that people keep toxic relationships based on, I've known them all my life, or, I've known them since I'm a kid, or I owe them this for this one thing they did for me a gazillion and 1 years ago, not realizing that who they were then and who they are now are two different people. Who you were then and who you are now, two different people. We have to make sure that we're surrounding ourselves with people who are going to celebrate us, cheer us on, support us. And when I say support, can we just be very clear about what support means? Support does not mean that, basically I need $5 or I need a cup of sugar or whatever, and you got me. That's not what support always means. Sometimes support means I know I can call you on the phone and I can tell you what I'm going through in my life, and you are going to, advise me with my best and highest good. You're actually interested in advising me at all, right? You're interested in listening to what's going on with my life. If you have a friend or a friendship or a relationship of any sort where you're constantly doing the caretaking and no one's taking care of you, that's a toxic relationship. I'm just going to wait for you here because I know I just jolted a lot of people, right? We are under the impression that friendships are allowed to be one way. Somebody can just take. Someone just gives, and that's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay with any relationship. We relate in a relationship. And if we're not relating, then it's not a relationship. It could be opportunism. It could be a parasitic energetic relationship. It could be psychic vampirism. It can be a lot of things. But what it's not is a healthy relationship. Okay, that's the bottom line. So I know that everyone's had these moments in their lives where they're looking at a situation with a friend or, a loved one or a romantic partner and realizing the longer that they're interacting with this person, the less they're recognizing themselves. That's a red flag, everyone. I just want you to know that's a red flag. If you find yourself catering more to their well being than you are to your own, if you're losing yourself in the relationship in any capacity, no, that's not good. If a person is demanding that you basically acquiesce your personal power, your self love, your well being to them, they're asking you for your power. They are trying to siphon off, your power from you to make themselves more powerful. Toxic, not good for you. Not good for you. I don't care who it is. Please don't tell me it's your mama. Please don't tell me it's your daddy. Please don't tell me it's your sister, your husband, your wife, your kids, whatever. Irrelevant. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. It's toxic, and it's up to you to speak on behalf of yourself, to give this person the information that they need to have in order to address themselves, address the situation, address you, and decide if their relationship with you is important enough to them that they reevaluate themselves, reevaluate, your relationship from their point of view, and decide whether or not they need to make some personal changes in order to take what may have been a toxic relationship and make it a healthy one so that your relationship with each other can continue. If they're coming in with the ultimatums, if they're coming in with the I'm not going to change, I'm not doing this, it's my way or the highway, time to say goodbye. Time to wave them goodbye. Yes, again, I know you guys are going to be cursing me out on this. I can already feel in the ether, and I haven't even released this video yet. You're going to be mad at me for telling you something that a lot of you already know. But here's the thing. When you want anything to grow in your garden, you got to cut away the dead things. You got to prune. You got to nurture. You got to water. You got to fertilize. You got to feed. If you look in your home and it is overrun with crap, right? Abundance has been coming up with some of my friends. If your abundance has to be in things, stuff, you're not really understanding what abundance means. Abundance is within. Okay, abundance is, growing within, rediscovering yourself, growing yourself, always finding the ability or the wherewithal, the desire to reach a little further beyond your comfort zone so that you can grow. So that also means in your relationships, because here's the thing, we choose who's in our lives. So if you're looking around at your friends, at your family, at your coworkers, your job, whatever, and you feel like there's no one in any of these categories who's really cheering you on, who really loves you, who really takes the time to understand you, who really feeds and nurtures your soul, and they are such a joy to be around, and every time you part ways with this person, you feel better, you've done I'm going to say it. Am I going to say it? I'm going to say it. You've done a shitty job of taking care of yourself. I know. Curse me out in the comments. It's fine. I can take it because you're going to get this information today. Somebody's going to say it to you out loud, what you've been feeling and knowing in your spirit for quite some time. If you're looking around and there's, a whole lot of people, and you in a time of trouble and a time of despair don't have one person that you feel good about calling and knowing that they're going to be there for you, and then they're not too busy and they don't have other things to do, then really be present with you in that moment, you have done yourself a disservice. This is not self-love, and it is definitely not self-care. Okay, so I know. I told you, but I warned you from the beginning. Truth Bomb Day. It was mega stuff. I've had friendships with people that I have had in my life for 20 plus years. But as we grow, we start realizing people keep their friends and friendships and relationships for different kinds of reasons. If your relationships are based on someone or something feeding your ego as opposed to feeding your soul, you're not in it for the right reasons. Okay. And so I have found in some friendships, I was caretaking. I was always the go-to person, and yet relationships floundered because other people weren't really carrying their own weight in a relationship. And I want to really focus on friendships because a lot of you think You don't have to show up for your friends. A lot of you think that when you get a significant other, you can just kind of assume your relationships, your other relationships, your friendships are going to be fine. Nope. Relationships are complicated for a reason. You gotta feed everybody, and everybody's gotta feed you. Okay? So if you get married, oh God, I'm so happy for you. You have some kids, oh God, I'm so happy for you. But don't assume that you're gonna spend the next, 5 years, decade, 20 years focusing on specific relationships because they serve you best or your ego best. And oh, I'm somebody's husband, I'm somebody's wife, I'm now valid in this world. I'm somebody's mom, somebody's dad, I'm now valid in this world. No, you were always valid. And if you didn't know that before those relationships, I promise you that theme's going to come up. Because if anything happens to those relationships, right? And you haven't fed any of your friendships, and you haven't made sure those people saw you, you haven't made sure that they felt nourished by you and you weren't nourished by them, that's a barren garden. Don't expect any fruit from it. You know what I'm saying? So yes, and sometimes we simply outgrow each other, and that's okay. Here's the thing that you cannot let happen. If you are trying to grow, if you're very much about your spiritual journey, if you're about personal development, if you're about really expanding who you are as a person, if you're about, becoming the person of your dreams in this lifetime, you're not waiting to die, reincarnate first, no, maybe next time I'll do this. No, we're still here. As long as you're breathing, as long as you're embodied, you're still here. So you have a chance. If you're about that and you're surrounding yourself with people who aren't either trying to go there with you or at the very least aren't supporting you, pushing yourself to be more, again, you got to reevaluate those relationships because it's not going to work. Why? Crab in a basket mentality. What do I mean by that? Listen, a lot of times we're surrounding ourselves with people who we think love us, and they're actually low-key haters. They're super jealous that you have the audacity to reach higher and further than the little box they have you in. Like, Monica goes in this box. She's only allowed to be this. No, Monica is allowed to be whoever Monica says that she is. And whether or not you agree is irrelevant. Whether or not you can stand it is irrelevant. Whether or not you're there with a measuring stick that I know nothing about, comparing the two of us, that has nothing to do with me. And if you're letting it, taint our relationship because, you don't want to feel less than or smaller than, compared to your friends or compared to your spouse or compared to your coworkers, that's your work to do, not the other person. But a lot of you have, haters that you're calling your friends. A lot of you have people calling their friend, but they're actually opportunists. They are there, nudged up against you, trying to just, steal every opportunity or every blessing that you either miss, don't recognize, or was fully meant for you, but they were like, yeah, I need that. Okay? Prune your relationship. See stuff for what it is, because only when you can see the ugly can you clean it out. And that goes for your house, that goes for your gardens, that goes for, hoarding any sort of thing. That goes for your relationships with your family, with your spouse, with your kids, hell, even your pet. Thankfully, we see mine is just chilling today. You don't know, I just totally got yelled at because he wanted to eat more than he needed to. But the point that I'm making is this, is that we at the beginning and end of the day, we're in control of ourselves. Our lives are our responsibility. Our experiences with the people we willingly and knowingly surround ourselves with, also self-care, also self-love. So if you are trying to hold on to friendships, relationships that are trying to leave, let them go. That absolutely is divine intervention, where the universe is trying to say, listen, you're trying to grow, and we're going to manifest growth if that's what you're about. But hey, in order for you to grow, you got to let go of this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. You got to let go of that job. You got to let go of that person. You got to let go of that habit, bad habit within yourself. You've got to let go of your insecurity. That's going to be a constant one. Right? If insecurity has been like your kind of Achilles heel, that's a constant practice. So you definitely don't need to be surrounding yourself with people who are going to, feed that inner demon going, you're not that good. You're not that worthy. You didn't work that hard. You don't need them. I mean, you already have that little demon that you're trying to exercise internally. So if you've actually hurt yourself by, recruiting somebody with an outside voice to do that for you, again, not self-love, okay? You're always going to have a certain amount of doubt, insecurity, whatever. But that's not who you should, that's not who we should be surrounding ourselves with externally. We should be surrounding ourselves with people who are going to tell us the truth, whether it's easy to listen to or not, but who also have our best interests at heart, who can celebrate our wins with us, who can cheer us on when we really don't know what the hell we're going to do, how we're going to do it, how we're going to get there. Okay? So that is this week's message. Again, I fully expect some of you are going to be like, you know what, Monica? And yes, I do. I've been doing this for a very long time. And yes, I'm the person that's going to say the thing that needs to be said. And those who are my dear friends and inner circle know that and love me for that. Sometimes they get mad at me. Yes, they sometimes absolutely get mad at me. I've definitely been asked, do you always have to say what you think? Yep. Sure do. It's kind of the whole, light worker, star seed, truth seeker, truth speaker thing. Absolutely. Now, but you do have to ask me first. If you ask me, I'm going to tell you. Just because you don't like the answer doesn't mean I didn't tell you the truth. And if I choose to answer, I'm already showing you and demonstrating that I care about your well-being. All right? So everybody, prune your lives. Make sure that who is there, no matter what the relationship is for you. Is for you. And make sure you're for these people. Because if you are that friend who really doesn't tell your people the truth when they need to hear it, you are not a good friend. You're not. If you are the friend who sees, someone that you love or proclaim to love going down the wrong path, and they ask you what you think, and you don't tell them the truth, like, hey, so that's not good. Don't do that. Yeah, you're heading, so that's a cliff. You don't keep walking. Yeah, you asked me about that situation. That's not a good situation. Zoom back. And I know sometimes that costs you the friendship, but I promise you, if you have a friend or a relationship with somebody, they ask you for the truth and you tell them and they don't like it and they don't want to be friends with you anymore or have you in their lives, you're better off with them gone. Because that's delusion. Friends do not engage in, enable, or perpetrate self-delusion. Friends don't do it, wives don't do it, husbands don't do it, family members who love you don't do it. If somebody wants to be deluded, let them walk that path alone. You stay clear and present in your own lane. All right, so thanks so much for watching. Again, if you're enjoying these videos, please hit the like button, please subscribe. And hey, if this one hit you between the eyes, because I know it will for some of you, make sure you leave a comment, okay? Thanks so much for watching. Namaste. Have a great day. See you next week. Yes, we're still in a Mercury retrograde. Crazy stuff. But you're going to make it. And so am I. Bye.